and your brother, Mr. Hunt, are suing your mother and your father for a paternity test. You claim that just 2 weeks ago they dropped a bomb during an argument. You say in the heat of the moment they inadvertently revealed that it was possible your dad, Mr. Jacobs, is not your biological father.
Let's dive into jaw-dropping moments in family sagas. Families entangled in webs of lies and dishonesty. Two siblings learn their father wasn't really their biological father. Talk about a twist. These are the most complicated families in paternity court.
He suffers from a severe case of autism. He's being raised by his grandmother and barely knows his mother and his father. Mr. Marsh, you are listed on Wesley's birth certificate as his dad.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you claim his biological father is actually his mother's neighbor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Maldonado, you are Wesley's grandmother and legal guardian.
Yes, Your Honor.
An autistic kid is being raised by his grandma and barely knows his father and mother. Now, Mr. Marsh is being listed as a possible father of the boy, but denies this, saying that it could be the neighbors.
I pay my child support. I pay $269 plus money in my arrearments. I'm $13,000 in debt because of it, but I still, whenever I have a job, I pay the state for child support.
Now, she's always played the role of being the legal guardian of the boy, but needs this paternity test so the future of the boy can be determined. Now, he claims he pays child support, but why would he when both parties are unsure of the paternity?
All right, so on the paperwork, he is listed as a father. So, Mr. Marsh, you signed the birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, why is it you have doubts?
He just does not look like me. I'm all white. There's no any other kind of descent in my family. Jolene's half Puerto Rican. Jeremy's father's is full-blood Puerto Rican.
Your Honor, I went to his mother's house with my son that is here and asked him, how do you know that that baby is yours? I said, don't sign his birth certificate. And he signed it anyway.
I didn't have doubt at that point in time.
Now, she, however, believes that he's the father because his name's on the birth certificate. Now, he's got doubts because the baby doesn't look like him. But why go ahead and sign a certificate when paternity isn't proven yet? Now, he blames it on Jolene that she misled him into thinking that the kid could be his.
Do you believe that Mr. Marsh is Wesley's father?
Honestly, I do not believe he is, because my sister has had multiple boyfriends. There you go. And I forewarned Eddie that if you do not know it's yours, do not sign the paperwork.
So Jolene's brother testified in court that he also doubts the kid is his because his sister had numerous boyfriends. Now, everybody warned him not to sign the birth certificate, but the dude went ahead and did it anyway. Now, he's still claiming that the neighbor could be the father of the baby, but that man submitted a statement debunking that claim, saying it wasn't him.
And you are Mr. Marsh's
mother.
What do you have to add, ma'am?
When I saw that baby, the first time I looked at it, I went, that's not ours.
Wow.
We are Anglo-Saxon and Scandinavian, and I've got the darkest hair in our family, and the rest of my kids are white and blonde.
Wait a minute, though, because he just already said that the mother's family has Puerto Rican descent. I hope what you're saying is your side of the family had very strong genes and it had resonated in even another situation.
Now, his mom tells the court that she knew the baby wasn't his from the onset because he looked different and didn't look like him. He also doesn't have blonde hair and blue eyes. Now, she was just being a little bit racist.
If I was allowed in his life, I would have.
I purposely had it go through the state so that I can prove what he was and wasn't paying me.
So, Miss Maldonado, what are you hoping for today? Are you hoping that he is?
I'm hoping he's not, so that we can move forward from this and let everything go.
Now, being the legal guardian of this kid means that she's been bearing all the expenses, and raising an autistic kid costs more, and she needed help. Now, she says that if it's proven that he's not the father, then he should remove his name from the certificate and dissolve the child support. I mean, talk about a smart decision.
When it comes to the paternity of Wesley Maldonado Neely, and whether Mr. Marsh or Wesley's mother's neighbor is his father, Mr. Marsh, you are his father. But you all going forward have to think about Wesley, not about yourselves. You all are adults. If you've had an argument, sit down, discuss it, and move forward, for goodness sake. Are we clear?
Yes,
Yes,
Your
we
Honor.
are.
Court is adjourned.
All right, now that that's out of the way, let's see how things turn out with them paternity results.
2 men you slept with, cousins, who grew up as brothers, 2 men who believe they fathered your 10-month-old son, Arrow. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nicola, you've always believed Errol is your biological son, and you are here to prove that today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Eddie, you admit to sleeping with your cousin's fiance. You and your aunt contend you are Errol's father and plan to prove it today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And for the record, these 2 young men are first cousins, and their mothers are identical twins.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Wilson, how do we end up in a paternity dispute involving 2 cousins?
Now, Miss Wilson's in the middle of a messy triangle with 2 cousins. Now, both cousins are growing to be brothers. Now, she slept with both of them in the window of conception and wants to prove paternity. Now, both men is in high hopes.
I messed up. I made a mistake. I'm here today to figure it out. I don't want the family feud going on anymore. One night, there was a family get-together. There was alcohol involved. We had all gotten hot inside. Nathan and I went outside. I became very intoxicated, and before it ended up, we were on a hay bale and we had sex.
Mr. Eddie, how many times did you have sex that night?
Twice, Your Honor.
What happens when you wake up the next day?
He went to work, and we just kept it secret.
Now, consequently, she claims that she had messed up and is willing to resolve this family feud so her kid can't be stuck in the middle any longer. Now, they both had sex twice that same day, but was unprotected.
And I'm sure this entire situation is just weighing on you.
I mean, look, if girl knows how to party and have fun, she knows how to party and have fun. Now, when her partner discovered that she was pregnant, he was happy because they had a miscarriage. Now, he's hopeful that the kid is his because of how well he'd bonded with the baby.
Your mother submitted a statement to the court. She's one of the identical twins. Cordell's the dad. He's been dad since day one, and I've been grandma since day one. I'll continue to be grandma either way. So, Mr. Eddie, your mother also submitted a statement to the court. She's the other identical twin. She says, I believe my son is Errol's father. I even offered to pay for a DNA test when Errol was 2 to 3 months old, and she refused. It's making me crazy. It's really messed up me and my sister's relationship, and we're twins.
Both of their mamas are twins and were very close. Now, they both submitted a statement to the court. Nicola's mom believes that he's the father, while Eddie's mom believes her son is the father. Now, talk about a mess. The situation is starting to cause a rift in the family.
Did you put Mr. Eddie or Mr. Nicola on Errol's birth certificate?
Yes, put Cordell.
Oh, you put Mr. Nicola on the
He
birth
signed it, yes. He was there at the birth, and I felt like Nathan wasn't even ready if it was his own son.
You're not picking the biological father, you picking the best father.
Now, she had put her partner's name on the birth certificate. Now, why would she do that, though? She says that Nicola is more of a potential father than Eddie is. Now, she trying to pick the best father, not a biological father? That's messed up, man.
We was real close all through school. I mean, I just want to keep it that way.
Mr. Nicola, you can't really even look at your cousin right now?
No, Your Honor.
What do you feel?
Betrayed. Even me and his mom had a close connection, and me and his mom don't even talk no more.
Now, he felt so betrayed that his cousin had done such a thing to him. Now, the good connection with his cousin and his mom is almost ruined. And Mr. Eddie's also remorseful about what went down.
The biological father is Mr. Nicola.
Now, hopefully, me and Nathan can get our relationship back the way it was.
To push things forward, it's best for the paternity results to be revealed.
You and your brother, Mr. Hunt, are suing your mother and your father for a paternity test. You claim that just 2 weeks ago they dropped a bomb during an argument. You say in the heat of the moment, they inadvertently revealed that it was possible your dad, Mr. Jacobs, is not your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor. I started to hear a lot of noise in my mom's bedroom. He coming out the room, going to the kitchen saying, well, those ain't my kids anyway, so I was doing you a favor, and left out the door.
Now, two siblings is in court to sue their parents for a paternity test. An overheated argument between both parents have questioned if their father was indeed their biological father.
You guys didn't hear the whole comment.
So, Ms. Hammonds, you're admitting that in the heat of the argument, you said this statement. You made this statement to Mr. Jacobs that you're not their father anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
But it was just in the heat of the moment, you said.
Yes, ma'am.
So you overheard this as well.
Yes, I did. Me and my friends, actually.
Why did you make that statement? Why did you say what you said for him to say what he said? This is the only man that I know for all my life.
Now, Mr. Jacob had admitted saying those aren't his children anyways. Now, this singular statement's made both siblings have doubts. Now, they don't want it to be kept in the dark any longer.
While my name is Razor, his name is Hunt,
Where I get Hunt
his name is Jacob,
Where I
and
get
your
Hunt
name
from?
is Hammonds.
That I overheard at a cookout with some of your friends talking about, don't she look like Tommy, whoever Tommy was?
Now, Mr. Farmer, the man in question, has agreed to take a paternity test. And he's joining us from his hometown. We're here with Ms. Razor. Mr. Farmer, did you have a relationship with Ms. Hammonds?
You called this your brother.
Yes, we had a relationship.
Ms. Hammonds, were you intimate with Mr. Farmer?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So you are sorry.
Ms. Hammonds?
Now they starting to question why they all got different surnames. Now, Mr. Farmer comes into the picture as a possible potential father for Rayson. Now, they all knew him as a family friend, but there was a little bit more to it than that.
You had a sexual relationship with Mr. Farmer some 26 years ago,
Yes,
around the time Precious was conceived.
Yes.
You're admitting that here today.
Yes, ma'am.
But you were not having a sexual relationship with him during the time Hector was conceived.
No, ma'am.
Is everyone prepared to go to the results?
Yes.
Mr. Jacob didn't have the slightest idea that they'd been involved sexually 26 years ago. Now, Ms. Rayson's quite devastated and in tears because the only man she'd ever known was her father.
The only issues we are still here left to figure out is whether or not Mr. Jacobs is, in fact, your biological father. These results read as follows. In the case of Razor Hunt versus Jacobs Hammonds, as it pertains to Precious Razor, Mr. Farmer, you are not. Yes! Are you ready for the next result? In the case of Razor Hunt versus Jacob Hammonds, as it pertains to Precious, Mr. Jacobs, you are not.
However, it's been proven that he's not the father. Now, could the man who raised her too be her father or not? The suspense just can't be contained.
The final results. In the case of Razor Hunt versus Jacobs Hammonds, as it pertains to Hector Hunt, Mr. Jacobs, you are not Hector's father.
Now, the results are going to come in here from Mr. Hunt. Now, let's find out who this young man's father is. Let's take a look at them results.
Because your last and only way to save your marriage and family is to prove to your husband that he fathered your 3-year-old daughter, Savannah.
Yes, Your Honor.
You admit you've cheated in the past, but hope once the results are revealed, your husband will trust you again. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. White, you claim to have physical proof your wife broke her vows, and as much as you love Savannah, you do not believe you're her biological father and are prepared to divorce your wife when the test proves your case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss White petitioned the court to prove to her husband that he's the father of Samantha. Now, she admits to cheating in the past, but the paternity results will serve as a saving grace for her. Now, Mr. White, however, says that he's going to proceed with divorce if it turns out not to be his baby.
She was having an ex-boyfriend come over while I was at work. I had neighbors tell me he was coming over, and then I started doing the snooping on Facebook, seeing where his location was, looking through her phone, and then we got into an argument one night, and then he showed up, and that's when I knew there was something happening, because why would you call him if we're arguing?
And now you just don't have any trust in this relationship.
No, because from a week after we got married until February of this year, I've been catching her cheating constantly.
Ms. White, have you been cheating?
Yes, but I have like abandonment issues because I was adopted.
Now, he says it's been an emotional rough patch, an emotional journey for him, and her constant cheating has done nothing but put him on edge. Now, she blames her abandonment issue for her behavior.
She admittedly told me when Savannah was 6 months old that there was a 50-50 chance that Savannah wasn't mine.
Mr. White, take me to that day.
I was hurt and I was pissed off because I done got attached to her. 6 months old, was there for the whole 9 months. I was the one that cut the umbilical cord. I watched her come out.
But should lack of love and affection be an excuse for cheating on somebody? I mean, why not just call it off like a normal person? Now, she admits to telling him about the truth of the matter. Now, he was, however, pretty pissed off and hurt, and he's always been there for the kids and carried out his fatherly duties and responsibilities.
Of the most recent is Valentine's Day. She went to another man's house while I'm sitting at the house with the kids.
Well, that's because you didn't even get me anything, and you were just yelling at me.
So these are text messages you've presented, Mr. White.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. White says, my body's naked, wishing you was in this bed with me. You are crazy, about to call you in a minute. Your wife says, LMAO, could you do that for me? Mr. White, you submitted another text message? Oh, this is another guy. This is not the ex-boyfriend's name. He says, laying here horny, and you say, Ms. White, I know, me too. Ms. White says, you can bring me some cigs, LOL. Why are you entertaining all these men on text?
Because he doesn't show me anything.
How you expect me to treat you the way you want to be treated when you're sitting here sexting other people and doing all this other stuff?
So this says, Happy Valentine's Day. Tell me what happened behind that story. Ms. White?
We didn't even do anything on Valentine's Day. We just sat there and talked.
He sends you a picture of his penis and you go over and talk?
Yeah.
Jerome, they must have changed my name to Boo Boo the Fool down there on this thing.
Now, he found out through text messages. She even spent Valentine's Day with another dude because she says he didn't get her anything for the holiday. I mean, talk about being petty. Now, he shows the court evidence of sexual pictures exchanged between her and her ex.
You gotta be honest. I have to ask you again. Did you sleep with the other man in February on Valentine's Day?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so which man is going to be able to put up with this nonsense? Mr. White is incredibly unhappy. Now, she tends to save her marriage after reflecting on her mistake. I mean, if you're going to do that, then you can't just keep on cheating on your man. Now she's pregnant again, and Mr. White also has some serious doubts.
I think it's time we go to the results. Jerome? When it comes to 3-year-old Savannah White, it has been determined by this court, Mr. White, you are her father. How do you feel?
I feel happy.
How do you feel, Ms. White?
Relieved. Because he's a great dad and I want him to be all of my children's father.
Her promiscuous ways has put her marriage on the line, but will the paternity result be her chance to prove the truth?